Hi everyone, it's Tawny. Welcome to my channel if you are new here. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back for another video. I typically film makeup videos, sometimes I film vlogs. My life's not really interesting enough to do a vlog. So in today's video, I am just going to do a typical get ready with me. Oh my gosh, this happens every time I use this primer. It's Christmas Eve, and I just want to sit down and do my makeup and chit chat with you all, see where we're at. I'm using the Wet n Wild Impossible Primer, and I swear every time I use it, a big glob of it does not want to like mesh into my fingers so I can like wipe it on my face, and it falls to the floor every time. And I'm like, I know this primer was like $4, but come on, I'm too poor to lose this stuff right now. Like, I can't. I can't. And then early in the morning, like, are you kidding me? I am not equipped to deal with that right now. Like, anyone else feel that way at times where you just like physically cannot, especially with it's early in the morning? Like, no. Now I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. I'm using the shade F4. I haven't used this one in a while, and I used it like a couple days ago, and I forgot how much I really liked it, so we're using it again. I got my cute little, like, lumberjack Christmas shirt on. I mean, it's not real Christmassy, but I think it's Christmassy. So I'm wearing that to go to breakfast this morning. It's like a tradition that we go to breakfast on Christmas Eve. Sort of one started by my dad. So we're trying to keep it going. So my mom, my sister, and I, and my sister's friend are all going to go and have breakfast together for Christmas Eve. And it should be a good time. It's going to be a very busy weekend for me. Holidays usually aren't super busy. Like, we got stuff going on, but it's never like panic mode busy. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say that like what I have going on is actually like panicky stuff. You know, like I'm not like stressing out too much over it, but I'm having my mom and sister over and my boyfriend over tonight for dinner. Like, we're gonna just have like a little Christmas Eve dinner. And then my mom's favorite movie is It's a Wonderful Life. So we're going to watch that and maybe play some cards or a board game or something, because we love to do that. Or at least I love to do that. And then tomorrow, I'm going to my mom's to open presents, my nan's for breakfast, back to my place for lunch, and more presents for my mom and my sister. And my boyfriend will be there. And then we're going to my nan's for dinner to open presents with like the whole family. Like all the cousins, aunts, uncles, whoever's that show up, honestly, because half the time we get like 5, 6 people that I don't really know that aren't related to us that just show up because they're in some way like friends with someone that's related to like everyone else. So it's just like, whoever. Like, as long as somebody knows who they are, I guess. Because I don't have the time. I have a giant pimple on my lip. That actually covered up really nicely. I put a pimple patch on it last night so I wouldn't keep messing with it because it wasn't ready last night. And then this morning it like very tinily popped. I used some Q-tips to pop it because that's like the new thing is to use Q-tips instead of your fingers. And I guess like if it's going to be more sanitary, why not? And like I keep my Q-tips pretty well. Like, they're not gross, you know? Obviously they wouldn't be. But got that sorted out a little bit, so that makes me feel better. I'm like, great, giant pimple right above my lip right before Christmas. Love that. It definitely could be worse, so I can't say too much. I don't want to panic so early on doing my makeup, but this foundation, you seeing that? I can see it through the camera. It's looking mighty heavy on my cheeks. Oh, I'm not sure if that's... Has it always done that? Have I just never noticed it? Have I been blind and just never noticed the signs of a bad foundation, or at least like not sure I'll like it foundation? Because I've been swearing by this foundation for a while now, probably over a year, and I'd hate to have to stop doing that because all of a sudden I just realized that it's not what I thought it was, you know. that's great. Love that. We're going to make it work today. It'll be fine. I'm not real worried about it. Now I'm going in with the Covergirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. I have the shade Light Nude. I have two shades of this because I realized I had a different shade, Fair Porcelain, and it was just a little bit too light. This shade is more like my natural shade. Like, it could be used as like a foundation. Like slightly lighter foundation, I would say. Not like perfectly matching. But I wanted to get one that like wasn't so obviously bright because the other one is like obnoxiously light on me. And I was just like, I don't want something that's like that intense, you know? I don't want my under eyes to be white and the rest of my face to be like the typical brown, you know, like the beige that it usually is. I don't want to say brown because I'm not brown, but the very light beige that I am. I'm not like super pale. My skin is not like, I'm white, but I'm not like eggshell white. That makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a paint strip white. Oh, man. When you first wake up in the mornings, you know how everything like just starts draining? Because it's like your first time getting up out of bed. Your body's like you're standing up, so everything's like, ooh, we can like come out now. And it's like, no. Like, I'm trying to do my makeup. I don't need my nose to start running all of a sudden. Like, geesh. Stay on my face. Don't run away. A little dad joke there. It's supposed to be, like, in the mid-50s today. And it's quite odd for December, especially for Christmas. It's supposed to rain tomorrow and I believe Sunday. It didn't really call for rain today, but it said like a wintry mix, I think, through Sunday. Like, I got a big alert on my phone from like the weather center or something like that. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't honestly care if it rains. I'd rather it didn't, just to make it easier on all of us, like carrying presents to and from places or food or children. You know, you have to carry some kids sometimes. But I mean, we'll be inside most of the time, so I'm not real worried about it. And then Sunday, I'm going to visit my aunt and grandma out of town. We're driving down to see them, and Mom was worried it'd be raining, and I said, well, I have good windshield wipers. My car is fine. Like, I, you know, got my new car in November, so I'm like, we'll be okay. Because she was like, well, we were going to take your car, and I'm like, well, that's fine. She's like, well, I'll pay for gas, and I'm like, well, if we need gas, we can get it, but if not, it's fine. Like, I'm, you know, not real worried about it. But, oh, I have a big gripe. I just used the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder all over my face. Just needed something that, kept all of the dewiness from the foundation kind of a little at bay, just so it's not so overwhelming, because I do plan to wear this makeup till at least like 8:30 tonight, and it's currently like 8:30, 9 o'clock right now, so I'm trying to do all I can to help it, you know, not get so bad so quick. And not saying it will be bad, but I'm very oily, so we'll see how that goes. I had a meltdown yesterday. 2 days before Christmas, I had a meltdown. And my birthday is coming up in a few days, like a couple days after Christmas, and I turned 26. And if you're familiar with the healthcare system in the United States, when you turn 26, you get kicked off your parents' insurance. And my dad had very good insurance at his job, and we were able to keep the insurance, so we didn't have to drop it, and my mom didn't have to like figure out her own insurance for her and my sister, because my sister's only 21. And I got super lucky that I turned 26, so I have to find my own insurance, which during this whole like mess with all the insurance and trying to like figure everything out when it's not under our names and it's not through our job, you know what I mean? I mean, it's not the worst, but it's also not the best either. Now I'm going in with the Cover FX Monochromatic Blush Duo in Pink Dahlia. I previously was using the e.l.f. primer infused bronzer in Forever Sun Kiss. I'm surprised I remembered that because I didn't look at the name today. But, so I was trying to figure out what my options were for healthcare, trying to figure out like what plan I would get. I needed health and dental because obviously you need to take care of your teeth. And I don't have eye problems yet, I should say, because it could come later in life. So I was just going to like hold off on that until I needed it because like why put money towards something that I'm just not going to take use of? And when you're poor, you don't want to give money where it's not needed, you know? And I had been talking on the phone with someone. My aunt had suggested I go through this agency to get like to have them help me figure out like their state provided benefits, but they're not state benefits, if that makes sense. They're benefits for like poor people essentially. And I saw the word Medicaid listed on the website, but I don't know that these are actually Medicaid. I think that's like if you get assistance, you would get Medicaid. If not, you get something else. And I don't know if that's Medicare or what. I don't understand anything with insurance. So I'm still very confused about this whole process. So he was telling me all the plans and he's like, you know, there's low plans where there's not good quality insurance. And you would end up paying like a $9,000 deductible, which I had to look up what a deductible was like 3 times yesterday when I was going through this whole process. A deductible is where you would pay up to $9,000 throughout any kind of services you needed through healthcare. Like if you had a doctor's appointment, a doctor visit, if you had to stay at the hospital, if you had to get blood work or lab work done, all of that would accumulate and it would build up to $9,000. And then at that point, the insurance would take over and start paying everything from that point on. Well, if you don't go to the hospital, if you don't get blood work, lab work done, if you're not sick all the time, that is a terrible plan because you end up paying everything. And that does not include dental. That is strictly health insurance. And I know dental is like super expensive. So that's not a bad plan if you're doing dental as well. But when it's just healthcare, that's terrible. For somebody who doesn't need services all the time, who only goes to the doctor like when it's like a checkup and the occasional urgent care visit, that is horrific. So then there were options under the silver and gold plans, which are like the better off plans that you should be getting. Like, well, they would provide better, what the heck? I'm just trying to find a brow pencil, and like every brow pencil I'm picking is not opened. And I'm trying to only use the ones that are open right now. And I just literally just rooted through the whole drawer just to find one freaking eye pencil. It's ridiculous. I need to just open them all and just use them because I know I'll use them. But I'm not opening that yet. We're opening this one first. It's the Colourpop Brow Boss pencil. So I got super overwhelmed on the phone when he was telling me all these plans because the gold and silver plans, we kind of really just went over gold plans. He was kind of more urging me in that direction, which I don't blame him considering what kind of insurance you would get with it. But like the deductible was low, like $2,000-$3,000 or something, not horrible. I certainly can't pay that myself, but that's just my personal, you know, it can build up to that. And your doctor's visits are like $40. Your urgent care visits are like $70. To get any medications, it's like $5. It's like very low. And so I was just like, that doesn't sound bad, but your monthly payment is like $270. And so I don't make money off of YouTube. I am strictly just doing this for fun. I have never been offered money. I have never been offered a sponsorship. I have like 100 followers. So I'm not making money right now. Like I'm just assuming when you're at 100 followers, money's not an option. And I'm okay with that because I'm okay with this just being like a fun thing. If I ever make money, sure, fine. But you know, I'm okay with that. I'd love for this to be full time, but I don't know that I'll ever get to that point. But I am a social worker in my regular job doing full-time social work stuff, and I don't make diddly squat. And with the prices of everything increasing lately, I definitely don't make diddly squat. Like, I'm one of those people that's like, I would say lower middle class. I saw like an example that said, I never want to be middle class. I'd rather be poor or rich. And like, I was like, well, that's stupid. But then I read like why they said that. And they said when you're poor, you get like all this help. You get financial assistance, you get food stamps, you get housing assistance, energy assistance, anything you could need, it's available to you. And when you're rich, you have all that available to you. Like it's easy for you to access those things without feeling like swamped and overwhelmed. But when you're in the middle class, you don't get those things offered to you because people assume you have enough money to pay for that and to take care of yourself. And then that's no big deal. Like, being able to afford all your bills and not have much money left over is no big deal. And that really hit me like super hard yesterday. It like, I like thought back to that picture and I was like, that person was like so right. It's like scary because I am like right above the poverty line. Like right above the part of getting help. I had looked into energy assistance because my coworker and I were like, if you can like use the help and like they, will let you do that and you qualify and stuff, like why not? That's what the programs are for. And I was like, that's a good point. Like I didn't want to like take from somebody else, but like if it's offered and like I can get help, then sure. My brows are just not. I used the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt Gel Mascara and it's like gooping all over the place and I don't know what the heck's going on and I'm not real excited over this. Like my brows are looking all funky today. This is not what I wanted. Okay, it's better. It's better. So I had looked into getting energy assistance just to like help out because like your gas bill goes up so much in winter. Like it's insane. My I think like part of November into December bill wasn't bad. I can afford that. But like there was a time it was more than my car payment and I'm like for heat, this is ridiculous. Like to be able to like heat and light my apartment, that's like outrageous. And my apartment isn't very big. Like this one is, my old one was not, and it was about the same in winter. Like it's like outrageous. And I have baseboard heating and I know that that's like a big factor, when it comes to your bill, but it's not like I can do anything about it because that's what the landlord has here. I have to just deal with it. And that's, perfectly okay with me. I get it. But it just like, I'm just like, if I can get the help, sure. But like, I can't get the help. And then I had asked about getting assistance with my health care because my aunt had told me if you do that, you only pay like $17 a year. And I was like, that's the kind of insurance I want because she said it's really good insurance. It's like provided by the state, if that makes sense. Like what I had said previously, how like they offer it to poor people, I guess. I don't know. And I was like, that'd be better because then I can actually afford to like live. But then he didn't seem to think, the guy on the phone didn't seem to think that I was capable, or that I was qualifying for that, like I could qualify. And I was like, well, that's great. So now I have to pay to breathe. I have no money to do anything. I'm paying for my bills and that's it. Like I get to sit at home and twiddle my thumbs because I can't go anywhere because I can't afford to do anything because I have no money because it's all going towards bills. Like I got so overwhelmed. I texted my mom and I was just like, I can't with like, I just literally cannot. And she was like, I feel bad. And she was like, I feel bad because it's like, it's not like we're kicking you off. It's just that like, because you're turning 26, you're getting kicked off. And I was like, I know. And I know you would keep me on forever if you could. And like, cause my parents have always been the type that like, they would help me out however needed. They're not going to let me like struggle. And I know that that can be a very like privileged thing. I have a friend who gets no help from family whatsoever, and I can see her struggles big time. So I'm very grateful for what all my parents have done for me my whole life. And the situation's a little different now that it's just my mom able to help me. But I didn't want to rely on her help. I was trying to do things and be an adult and like figure it out myself. But I'm so overwhelmed with this that I just like, it's intense. And like, trigger warning, you might want to skip a couple seconds, but I got so trigger warning, discussion of depression, suicide, anxiety, things like that, dealing with money and stress. So if that's too hard for you to deal with, please skip along and go toward like the end of doing my makeup or my eyes, so that way you don't have to listen to this. But I had gone into a separate room in my at work because it was just me and a coworker after I had done my phone call with this guy. And I had a meltdown and I was just like, what's the point of living if you can't, like, if you're just paying all your money towards bills? I make no money. I'm already mad about that. I'm already broke as it is. Then I have to pay another $250 a month for health insurance that I don't always need 24/7. Like, it's one of those things you have to have it as a backup because you just never know what's going to happen. But like, I I was just like, what's the point? And I'm like, what's the point of being alive if like that's, and I was just like, I had, oh, gross. I had just gotten to the point, and I am not suicidal by any means. I'm not one of the people that would actually act upon it. So please don't get concerned. But I was just like, I might as well kill myself at this point because I just can't do this. Like, I physically cannot deal with the stress of not knowing how I'm going to afford to survive. Like, I'm living on my own. I have a cat. He's not that expensive to take care of, so I don't mind having him here. Like, I can't afford to go shopping anymore. I can't afford to get any home decor for my apartment because I can't afford it. Like, every time we go shopping and like a major, like we go out of town to go like nice shopping, not so much like our area shopping, I end up losing, like I spend what I think is a reasonable amount of money. I come back and I'm like so poor that I then have to like not spend anything for another week and a half until my bills get taken out from my next pay. And I hate living that way. I'm not living comfortably. And I know it's the whole like live within, like live under your means, like live below your means so you can save money and survive. But like, I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to save up to pay off for my student loans. I have $27,000 of student loans that could potentially go up because I haven't been paying because they're on deferment right now because of the whole mess we've been in the last year and a half. And it just has me so unbelievably stressed that I'm just like questioning why I'm even alive at this point. And like, I would never act upon that. I've said that like all throughout this video. I've said it before in other videos. I would never act upon that. I know what it can do to like others around you. I know like obviously how heavy of a thing that is. So I would never do that. But it just like, I'm just like, what's the point? Like, I'm not living. I'm just like paying my bills and going to work. And I'm like, it's just so stressful. And like, I even feel that way before dealing with all of the health insurance and stuff like that, where it's where like I go to work, I come home, I can't go anywhere because I don't have any money after I pay my bills and after I like take care of what needs taken care of. And it's just like, it's just such a terrible thing to think of. And it's just so like, and I know it's like blame the United States for not having universal health care. Blame people for not making things more accessible. Blame the fact that wages aren't going up. But prices of everything are going up. Minimum wage is going up. My wage is not going up. And that's where the problem starts. And I'm not saying minimum wage people shouldn't be making more money. I feel like they should be. And I know that there's like reasons that they shouldn't and all that, and people have their opinions, and I'm not here to like discuss opinions. I'm just here to state like, because it's not even relevant to what we're talking about, but like, it's just, I'm not making any more money, but everything else around me is getting more expensive. And I kind of had gotten to this like realization a couple weeks ago where it's like my grocery bill would be like $100 and I could get a bunch of food, a couple meals for the week, and I'd be okay. Now my bill's $100 and I have like one or two meals and a couple little extra things with my meal, like with like that I can buy, like snacks or something, and that's it. And it's just like that is like just like disgusting, depressing. Like, I hate that. That is like horrible. That it's just like, I then have to scale back and I'm like, I'm going to starve to death. If that's what things are going to be like, I'm going to starve to death. I'm not going to be able to eat, like, because I can't afford my food, Like, I'm going to end up eating stuff out of cans because that's literally all I can afford. Like, I'm just so depressed over everything lately. And I'm trying to be very optimistic. I'm optimistic around other people when I give advice. But for me, I'm a very big pessimistic, I would say. And I'm looking at things more like the glass is empty and it's never getting full again. And I'm trying to get out of that, and I really want to get out of that for 2022. But man, it is so hard to it is hard to think of positives when everything around you is crumbling. When you're so stressed out because you don't know when your next meal is going to come or how you're going to afford your next bill. I was looking at my bank account and I was like, okay, if I don't spend anything, I have enough money for my car payment. And I hate thinking that way, that at Christmas and around my birthday, I can't buy a single thing because then I can't afford my car payment. Like, I hate it. And luckily, which unlucky for me though, kind of, my car payment was taken out the middle of the month, even though I prefer it at the end of the month. So I'm going to have to talk to my bank and fix that. But now I don't have to worry about where that money, about saving up that money. But I still don't have enough money to actually doing anything. And I read a thing that said people in poverty struggle with money because they don't have a savings. They don't have any emergency money if anything happens. They said most of the time people fall behind whenever something goes, if their car breaks down. It's usually $1,000 roughly to fix it and to get it taken care of after all of the things that need bought and after all the people that look at the car and fix it up and stuff. And they said if you have that emergency fund, you're not pulling out of pocket all of that money. You're using that emergency fund. But my whole thinking is, what if you can't save up for that emergency fund? $1,000 is a lot of money to save up when you don't have extra money coming out of your paycheck every week. When you don't have extra money to spend on this emergency fund that you're not going to be able to access. Even if you could, you don't want to access it, And it's also what if when you use that emergency fund money, you have nothing left? And then something else happens. Over the summer, my parents, they had to replace their air conditioning unit. So one month they did that. The next month, the furnace went out and they had to replace the furnace. And it's so you spent your emergency fund on your air conditioning unit or your air conditioner because they have central air. So you spent your money on that and then something else happens. You haven't had time to build up to fix that. Your emergency fund means nothing now because it's only covered one thing. And that's the problem, is that it's so hard for people to pick back up, and that's my problem. I'll be doing okay and then I'll falter and then I'll lose money. I'll be down a little bit. I'll be struggling. And I just it takes me months to get back up. And that I hate that. I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to have that feeling. I hate the thought of when you're at a store wondering if you have enough money to pay for groceries or to pay for necessities you need in your home, like trash bags, toilet paper, paper towels, stuff you use on a regular basis, cleaning supplies and stuff, And I don't want to be a scrimper. I don't want to have to beg my mom to buy me stuff. I don't want to have to buy super, super cheap products just because that's all I can afford. But I almost feel like that's what's left at this point. I mean, and it just I get coupons at CVS. I am a part of the Care Pass program where you pay $60 a year and then you get $10 coupons every month. So you end up making double what you had paid, or you make back plus more of what you had initially paid. And then you can use it on anything in the store other than special things. And then you also get some money off their brand medications. So if you need Tylenol, Advil, you can get that at a more affordable price if you were to get their name brand. And I usually use that towards makeup so I can get stuff for my channel because it's a free $10. That's a free lip product, free eye product. You know what I mean? The occasional mascara with a little bit of money towards that. But now I'm maybe I should go and get toilet paper and paper towels or something, or cleaning supplies with that money, because then that way I don't have to use it out of pocket. And it's still getting used and I'm still taking advantage of the program, but I'm not feeling so you know what I mean? And I'm just I hate that I then have to give up. It's more for your needs versus your wants. But at the same time, I hate to give up everything just to be able to afford the basic necessities. Oh, it stresses me out so much. And I'm sure you can tell that from the way I've been talking. But I hate that it's like that. I hate that people have to live this way. Like, I totally get how people I work with are, you know, like what they're going through and what they're dealing with on a daily basis. Because I help people who most of the time are in poverty, and sometimes they don't want to get out of it, and sometimes that's not where they want to stay for the rest of their lives. So it's like, you know, just meeting the person wherever they're at and helping them with whatever needs they see are, you know, the most pressing at that time. But it's just, it's a lot. And I'm just like, of course this all happened right before Christmas, where I'm just getting like super overwhelmed and just, you know, can't focus on enjoying Christmas because I'm overwhelmed with money. Like, and lucky me, I got started on Christmas shopping back in like end of September, early October. So, oh no, I hate when that happens. So in case I got low on money, I had some time to build up, like wait for another paycheck, save up some money, then go buy some stuff. And I'm glad I did it that way. And I kind of wish more people would think that way. But a lot of people don't think about Christmas till December because they're so heavily focused on where they're at in that current time period that they can't think about anything in the future. And that, like, that sucks. And like, we want to criticize people for thinking that way, but like, that is sad that that's like the situation. Like, I don't want to say I pity people like that, but like, I understand that people feel that way. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Because there's sometimes that you just don't have the extra money, and then Christmas comes, like December comes, and you're like, well, Christmas is coming up. I don't really have the money because I'm just living paycheck to paycheck, paying my bills and like barely having enough for anything left. But then there's Christmas, like, and by then, all the Christmas programs have kind of finished taking applications. They're working on buying the stuff, not getting more people with needs, which is really unfortunate because people still have needs. And like, just because you put a deadline doesn't mean the need still isn't there. But, you know, it makes you grateful for what you do have. But at the same time, it's like the whole glass half empty, half full thing, you know? Like, I want to see it as half empty, like I'm missing stuff. But I like should be viewing it as like, look what you do have, look what you're able to have. Like, you do have some makeup, you at least have a place to live, you have, you know, your bills are getting paid, you have groceries, you have a family willing to help you. Like, if you can't afford to eat today and you can't afford to cook what's in your fridge, you can go to your parent or your grandparents' house and they can cook for you and provide a meal for you, and you can save your meal for another day. Like, I've been in that situation before where I literally had to scrimp like every food, like everything I had. And I had to ask my mom, like, can I come for dinner? Because I literally had no money to put, like, I had like nothing to eat and couldn't afford to eat what I did have, if that makes sense. Okay, we got that little dot taken care of. Doesn't look too bad. I'm not one to wait and like flick it off. No, I want to get it off like right away. It like bothers me right away. I used the Natasha Denona Glam Palette today. Just kind of wanted to go like a nice soft look. I was going to use the Tati Beauty Palette, rest in peace, to put some glitter on, but I'm not really feeling the glitter. Maybe later I'll use some glitter. And then I also went in with the NYX On the Rise mascara. And now I'm going to use the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. This is like one of my favorite setting mists. It's like one of the best things I bought this year. I wanted to do a video of like all the stuff I've bought and like my thoughts on things, my favorite products I bought this year. I don't remember what I've bought this year. I honestly don't, and I'm terrible with that. I need to make a list and keep it at my desk for where I film and do my makeup and stuff. So then that way I know what I can talk about in December, because I don't even know what came out in January last year. So I don't know if I'll be filming a video like that. We'll see. I'm very focused on 2022 at this point because it's the end of the year and I'm just ready to move on to the next year of content. So, I don't know. That stuff smells so good. Like, it's teetering on not being the greatest, but it's also really good at the same time. I feel like I should go bold with my lip, but I don't really want to go bold. I'm not a bold person. I do have this new product from Colourpop I've never tried. It's the Fresh Lips Lip Cream. I have the shade BB Spice, and it looks like this. I think I'm going to try it out today, see how I feel about it. I picked it up recently, I believe at Ulta. I think the last time I went shopping. It's the last time I had money. And I was like, well, let's see if I like the formula at all. Okay, it's a very liquidy formula for being kind of thick. When it first applied, I was like, it's looking a little funky on my bottom lip. But then I'm like, maybe it's because my bottom lip is like a little, like, I don't want to say crusty because that's kind of gross, but like, it could use a lip treatment. My lips aren't horrible at this point. I'm honestly proud of how well they're doing right now. It feels very lightweight, but also heavy, but not like in a bad way. Like I don't mind it. I can talk and like it's not that big a deal. I like the shade. It's almost like a Your Lips with Better shade on me. And I'm not mad about that. This is like, I mean, I picked the shade, so like obviously this is like what I gravitate toward anyway. It's a little light, but not terrible. Like, I think this is a great, like, everyday lip for me, like, if I didn't want to wear makeup at all. But I think I would actually go for something a little bit more, with, like, a little bit more color, just so I don't, like, look so washed out. But I think it looks really good with the blush that I put on today. I think everything looks very, like, light and airy for being Christmas, you know? But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys aren't stressing out about the holidays. If you are and you don't, if you are able, have a drink, take a nap, you know, like, you know, take care of yourself. If you cannot have a drink, then make some hot chocolate. That always helps me in a bad situation is some hot chocolate, and take a nap. And play with your animals, whatever you have, cat, dog, rabbit, guinea pig, hamster, bird. I know there's bird people out there. I'm not one of them, but there are bird people out there. Yeah, and try and enjoy the holidays this year. It's definitely a different holiday for a bunch of different reasons. So take care, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.